partner objection handling script. Now, we first got to understand, why does partner objection happen in the first place, and what categorizes a partner objection. A partner objection is basically a third party that's not there, that the prospect is using as a reason to not move forward. So it could be their spouse, as in their husband or wife. It could be their business partner. It could be their parents. It could be their children. It could be their accountant. A third party that's not there. Okay. Why this happens is it could be actual genuine, meaning that, for example, in a B2B context, doesn't have to be enterprise level, but even like a small business owner, they may need a business partner, or maybe someone in their organization that they actually have to talk to, right? That could happen. Or fear-based, meaning that they don't really have to go talk to the other person in the organization, or they don't have to talk to their wife or husband, but they're using that as a reason to actually not move forward because it's convenient, right? Hey, it's not me. It's not that I'm afraid. It's just that the other person, I gotta go talk to them, right? So what it is an abdication of responsibility in that case. What does that mean? It's basically they're externalizing responsibility into a third party that's not there, because then they can save face and not move forward as a reason, right? So how do we do that? We got to isolate what's actually going on first, right? So this is the premise that you actually handle the previous objections first, right? If someone says, after you drop the price, I got to go talk to so-and-so, you first go through logistical money first, right? Money aside, do you feel like this could help you get to where I want to go? After that, if the partner objection still happens, then you go through this. So let's go through it. Okay. So you go through it. Okay. So is your so-and-so supportive of you getting outcome? Is your wife supportive of you starting a business and providing more for the family? Are your parents supportive of you learning these skills so you can make more money and provide more for them? Is your partner supportive of you really growing the business? Is your partner supportive of you losing that weight? Just insert the outcome. They'll be like, yes. Okay. If they say no, they'll usually say yes. And you ask, okay, but what happens if you go to your partner and they don't want you to learn the skills to get outcome? They don't want you to learn the skills to start a business and provide more for the family. What are you going to do then? So what this is a consequence question, meaning that, okay, in this context, what are you actually going to do? And they'll answer usually one of the three answers. Okay. They'll say, I'll still do it. I wouldn't do it. They'll say, I don't know. Okay. If they say, I'll do it, you ask why. Okay, why? Now the answer, reason why we ask why, because it's making them solidify the idea that they'll still do it either way. So if they say, I'll do it, what you do, it's a fear-based, so you go balls to the wall. You close it on that call. Because if they still, logically, it doesn't make sense, right? If they'll still do it, even if the partner says no, there's no reason to go talk to them, right? And they'll explain, yeah, because, ultimately it's my decision, ultimately it's my future, ultimately I know best. You want those kind of answers? At that point, okay, so knowing that you feel like this could help you get to where you're wanting to go, knowing that the money does work, and knowing that whether your partner said no, you still do it because you know what's best for the family, where should we go from here? So what did we do here? We're closing all the exits. So as we went over in the other trainings, objection handling, it's not about opening doors or adding things. It's about removing all the other possible exits. So they only have one exit to go, which is to the sale, right? So, okay, money, or knowing that you feel like this could help you get to where you want to go. The value, okay, you're closing that door. Money, you're closing that door. The partner, you're closing that door. Where should you go from here? At that point, they'll be like, okay, yeah, okay, let's do it. So logically, they're like, yeah, that didn't make sense. So let's do it. Or, and then at that point, you proceed to the sale. If you get more fear, then you go into fear reframes. Okay. Let's go through the other types of possibilities that could happen. So they may say also, well, I wouldn't do it. Okay. At this point, what you want to do is you want to reframe their way of thinking. Okay. Now, in a B2B context, you got to clarify, hey, could you walk me through your business's decision-making process? So we have a better understanding. So that way, yeah, we always discuss for things like this. In that case, yes, you want to bring both of them on the call, right? Don't let them go talk about it. Bring them both on the call if you can on the spot. If not, you set a follow-up call, right? Because that's just how it is. Okay. But if it's like a B2C context, right? Parents, children, or like their spouse, then be like, okay, have you heard of a saying, heavy is the head that wears the crown? So at this point, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get them to take responsibility that they can take action for their own goals. Okay. They'd be like, yes or no, doesn't matter. Yeah, so Shakespeare's saying. So if you can imagine a king with a big crown on him, a lot of people look at that as if the gold and the jewelry that is heavy. But in reality, it's not because of that. It's because of the burden and responsibility That is heavy. So whose responsibility is it to learn the skills to get financial freedom that you want? Just insert the outcome that they wanted, right? So whose responsibility is it to learn the skills so you can actually don't have to keep feeling sluggish, having all that extra weight? So whose responsibility is it to learn the skills so that you can start a business where you can retire your wife? Well, it's mine, right? So knowing that it is your responsibility, so you emphasis on the your, right? Whenever you put a bold in the scripts, emphasize, because your is you responsibility, right? They're trying to go like other places by avoiding responsibility. No. Narrow it down, you. So knowing that it is your responsibility, is it really fair for yourself and your parents and your wife that you put that responsibility onto them? Because if they say no and you don't do it, that basically means that it's their decision. Like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, like I didn't ask you if I said I was right or wrong. I asked you, is it really fair? Right? They'll typically give you that kind of responses. Whenever they don't answer your question, just like slap them. Right? So you're right. Well, I didn't ask you if I was right or wrong. I asked you, is it really fair? Knowing that it is your responsibility. They're like, no, it's not. Why not? Okay, get them to solidify, because ultimately then you get the same responses here. Right? Well, ultimately, it's my decision. I got to do something. You want that type of answer. So, same thing. So, knowing that you feel like this could help you get to where you want to go, Typically, you'll get that. Or if they say another fear, you go into the fear reframes. Okay. Now, they may also say, when you ask them, what are you going to do then? They say, I don't know. You do not take that as an answer, because it is not an answer. They didn't answer the question. Right. So, at that point, you got to make your question more poignant. So let's say they do say no. Would you still do it, or you wouldn't do it because they said no? Emphasis on the they, because if you say it like that, now they feel like, okay, that kind of doesn't make sense. That if they say don't do it, I don't do it. So at that point, you'll get I'll still do it, I wouldn't do it. You need to get one of these two at that point. You need to. If they keep saying like, yeah, I don't know, that's why I need to go talk to them. Oh, brother, if she did say no, will you still do it or you wouldn't do it? You sit there and you get them to answer the question, and then you go into one of these two routes. Okay. So at that point, where should we go from here? If they keep saying fear, if the fear is a bit vague, like they keep like not giving you much, then you can also ask this question. Okay, so what do you feel your partner, what do you feel like your wife maybe the most apprehensive about? The reason for this question is I've seen Matt and also Hormozy ask this. I learned it from them. Is that it gives them an opportunity to say what their fear is, the prospect. Because what you do is like, what do you feel your partner may be most apprehensive about? If they're abdicating the responsibility onto their wife or husband, now if you say like, yeah, what do you feel like Dan may be apprehensive about? I think the money. Boom. It is ultimately like what they're saying is, I'm afraid of the money, but let me just use Desmond as an excuse to kind of go through that. At that point, what you do is you go through different money reframes, fear reframes, and things like that. Okay. But ultimately, what is important is that in your head, just calculate, does this make sense or not? That's how you tell if it's a genuine logistical money or actual fear-based. And if it's a fear-based one, you go balls to the wall. They don't have to go talk to their partner. You actually overcome it on the call. Right? If it's an actual genuine one, meaning that, hey, listen, I really want to do it, but I don't have the money, so I'm going to talk to my partner so I can borrow the money to see if I can do this. If it's something like that, you can tell it's genuine. That, yes, genuine. Right? If not, then no. Right? So go through this. If you still get it, go through the fear reframes, go implement it, memorize this, right? It's not something that you should be able to just kind of stumble your way through. No, you make it as part of your being, that if someone woke you up at 3 in the morning, hey, listen, dude, I got to go talk to your wife, then you should be able to go through this flawlessly. You should already find yourself doing it already. Okay, so memorize it, understand why I'm asking the questions, what I'm trying to do. Okay, go through it, implement it, let us know how it goes in the community if you get any questions. Next training.